community, which is not very far from town. May I invite a group presenting on a study on iron forging traditions for sustainable cultural tourism at Baan Had Hien, which is another silversmith as well. Blacksmith, sorry, yeah.
ซิ่งเปิดไมค์ด้วยค่ะ
2 minutes walk 2 นาทีจากสนามบินสากลหลวงพระบาง
So it's only 2 kilometers away from the Luang Prabang international airport. What I would like to propose is about the secret of the recycling of iron. So it is only 2-minute walks from the Luang Prabang international airport, and we can get to Had Hien village. Before I start my presentation, I would like you to know about the Had Hien village. So Had Hien has a long traditions of that has been transmitted through ages. So the pictures about the racing boat on Had Hien, the male in Had Hien has very famous of being very strong man and warmly and has received a lot of awards. So it's about the pictures of the Had Hien village. So you can visit Had Hien, so you can see the rose So the activities of the Had Hien is about the blacksmith. The first picture is about the normal hatchet that has been used in the farming activities. The second is about the knives that be used as a decorations or used when you go to the forest. The last one is about the pictures of the house that has been moved, had been settled in the Had Hien district. But there's very few left. So in terms of the knife making, you can search in YouTube, because this is about the pictures of knife making using the iron. So it's about the view of Had Hien, because Had Hien is located in a river, bank of the river. So the iconic symbol of Had Hien is this blue house. But if you come to Had Hien, you will see this house, where so many this is very famous of the papaya salad, and is very famous by many people. So within the village, there are so many tourists. We have a restaurant. We have many activities. So the first the topic is presenting is to promote the young people to take over this blacksmith activity. So it's another way of I received the Mr. Kamchan as a mentor. I would like to move to the challenges for the blacksmith handicraft. Is not permanent. It's a permanent activity. So of course, it is not permanent. The production is not permanent, and the price will not be permanent. So the second challenge, so the tourist infrastructure is not ready. For example, the road, road, and we don't have any high quality restaurant, and there is no concrete step for the environment management. For the object of this purpose, the object of this purpose is to address the needs of the community. The first one is about to build the infrastructure, the strong infrastructure, with working relevant with the authority, and working with the UNESCO office Bangkok, and my strong motivation and my motivation to move forward with this project. The second is about use the resource, natural resource, and use the human resource to build the experience for the tourists, and to keep the identity. The last one is build and what we call the community-based tourism as a way of to preserve the know-how for each objective. So we are going to So we will different steps working with the community, the government. The second one is the first is co-creation is about and produce the value adding, and the last one is about the interaction using the supply base, what we call the green market. For the target group for the study is a key information for the project, starting from the Blacksmith, the community leaders, and the last one is about the stakeholders in the project. So the way we are connected, they run the activities is 3 steps. The first one is about the coordination, interaction with the local authority, the target groups, which is especially the provincial departments of tourism of Luang Prabang. The last one is the operations step, to prepare the meeting with village, the analysis of the trades and the feasibility, and couple with the tourism. Last one is about the implementation. When we open the door to the tourists, so we need to develop the skill, provide skill development, cultural training, and after we need to develop the plan for the promotion of activities. What the expected outcome, and to preserve the human resource development, especially the young people, especially the villages and community, and to preserve the know-how, and to foster the engagement of the people from the multi-sectoral cooperation. So in terms of the budget, there are 3 parts: from human, 60% from manpower, and the and the material 30%, and the management for. So the tools that we're using for the data collection, we are going to have the quality observations and qualitative interviews and document research. So the time frame, it depends on the COVID-19 pandemic, and we expect to run the project starting from January 2022 until to April 2022. So we have 4 steps. The first one is about data collection. Second one, the data analysis, and the interpret and then the interpret of the data, and the last one is kick off of the project. After we run the project, after we implement this project, the first one, the community we receive information about the Han Hien. The second, to generate more income from the activities. Third one, to conserve traditions and to enhance the involvement of community, and to build the Han Hien as to become a very famous the Blacksmith, the major income for the Blacksmith, and of course we help to generate fixed permanent income from the tourists. So how we are going to preserve the cultural heritage? By promoting the ritual, the traditions, or the know-how, blacksmith know-how, and in terms of if the commitment of the participants is part of the policy of the government to promote the contribution and participation of the community. Now I would like to use the words for Arvind Singha, which says that for the community, it is about cooperation, it's about consent, last one, and discussion and consultations, co-learning, and that's one in collective action, especially for the planning. So the success of the project will depend on your cooperation, especially for the preservation of the essay, which is the main objective of this project. Thank you.
Has been designated as the cultural village, also which is not so far from Luang Prabang town. So for this project, may I invite for the first time Miss Tara Gujatar. Tara is the co-founder and also the co-director of the Traditional Arts and Ethnology Center from Luang Prabang. and then followed by ท่านแสงทองนะคะ and then Mr. Gregory from the US Embassy. Tara, the floor is yours, please.
I think Tara is she has internet problems, so maybe
okay, so ท่านแสงทองค่ะ would you like to go first then ขอเชิญท่านแสงทองก่อนเนาะ
ท่านแสงทองเจ้าเปิดไมค์
Once again, I would like to thank the team because your presentation is quite broad and quite detailed. As we all know, as you presented, the Blacksmith is to promote, so is another way to promote the tourism, and promoting the Blacksmith in Had Hien is another activity linked to the tourist activity in the Luang Prabang city, especially which is located in the World Heritage Site. So your presentation showed the importance and the role of Blacksmith, especially the promotion of Blacksmith, and to promote the tourism. So I think that in recent Blacksmith activity, there is the trades to be reducing. So perhaps you need to look at the sustainability of the Blacksmith activity as one presentation about the raw material that you're using to, especially the iron now, because because the iron has become more and more scarce. So if you want to transmit this tradition to continue to be practiced, the first one we need to promote, because we want to promote the local authorities to continue this Blacksmith activity. In other words, another point is about to promote tourism, because in addition to have the Blacksmith activities, we also organize a Blacksmithing festival. If this Blacksmithing activity can be promoted to the community, it will help to promote other activities which are related to the Blacksmithing activity. Will also be promoted. So it will be kind of combination of promotion, community of Blacksmithing activities, and also making the Had Hien very more famous. Once again, I would like to congratulate the teams for your presentation. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Santong. So because I think that the project is under your responsibility. I would like to read out can you write the comments from to finish? So the Blacksmith study as a part of the tourism is quite interesting, and perhaps you need to think of the management of the market, or no matter it's knives or matchet. It will help to promote the sustainability.
Mr. Gregory, are you here? Would you like to give your feedbacks or comments to this project, please?
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And I just saw mentor Linda McIntosh. I guess I overlooked the fact that there was one member of Team 7, so that's very impressive that you were able to develop such a professional presentation. I also want to give a lot of praise to the interpreter, because Sin was, I think this was a quite theoretical presentation in parts, even academic maybe, and there was a lot of information. So well done. Lao English interpreter, you did a great job, I think, on trying to help condense a lot of really interesting information. Sin, I thought you did a great job promoting Had Hien village. I have to say, I don't think I've been there before, but especially given that you showed some delicious looking food right at lunchtime. I think you've done a great job doing some propaganda for your town, and I really enjoyed the presentation overall. Interestingly, you know, because this is another a blacksmithing presentation, similar in some ways, I think, to the one from Baan Had Hien that we heard a little bit earlier. But your Had Hien village, I think, benefits from being further along in the attempts to preserve and protect this intangible cultural heritage. I think actually it's your village that I was referring to when I mentioned to the Vientiane province team that there was a town in Luang Prabang that did have a website set up where there was information online you could find out about blacksmithing. I could be wrong, but I believe I saw in the links that you sent in your presentation that one of those links was what I was referring to. So one thought I had, this is a little bit outside of the specifics of your presentation, is that I would encourage you and the team from Vientiane province to work together and share information, since you're both working to preserve similar traditions in different parts of Laos. And I think the team in Vientiane province, given the risk of just one family, could really benefit from the work that you've done so far, and possibly you could work well with one another in trying to promote shared tradition in different places in Laos. I again was impressed with the timeline. I have to say your budget was very reasonable, and so I think the focus and the thought that you put into your presentation was very clear. Again, including the sort of theoretical construct, the theoretical elements of your project proposal, which shows that you're working to think on a deeper level. A couple of thoughts. Again, I think, you know, Luang Prabang lends itself to tourism. It's a tourism dependent city. So a couple of thoughts about tourism, and forgive me if you mentioned this in the presentation, but I missed it. One is that I think for many tourists, Lao and especially American or foreign, the experience that we get from going to a village is not just, or a village focused on cultural heritage, is not just observing and learning, but it's also possibly doing. And I'm reminded of the pottery, one of the pottery villages in the Luang Prabang area that has done a good job in creating an experience that tourists can have, making their own ceramics. And so if that wasn't included in your presentation as something to possibly discuss, I recommend that you think about how you can actually physically include tourists in the making of metalworks. I know that it must take much longer to make a hatchet or a metal implement than it would to form a piece of clay into a ceramic pot or cup. But there may be ways that you could bring the experience to the tourists so they could actually physically participate in the process. And I think that experience would be very attractive to tourists who come from all around the world to experience the traditional culture of the Luang Prabang area. I also think that I appreciated your thoughts about what the activities would be like after the project. Again, thinking about what Juan said in the most recent presentation about leveraging social media to try to drive interest. So you're already ahead by having some of your items online, but creating some Instagram or other social media account that you're doing to broadcast your activities. If you haven't thought about that, then I recommend that you do it. So those are some thoughts. Again, it was a really impressive presentation, and certainly once I am able to travel around Laos again and able to go up to Luang Prabang, I look forward to trying to stop by Had Hien and learning more about this great cultural heritage there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Greg. Now that you know where Had Hien community is, thank you. Next, Tara, would you like to give your comments briefly? The last one.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize. I was just having internet problems, so I had to restart my router back and forth. So unfortunately, I missed the end of the presentation, but I did hear the first half. I also missed some of the comments, so I apologize if I'm repeating what others have said or something that was presented already. It was a great presentation. I thought it was very thorough. Of course, I know about Had Hien. It has been quite famous as a blacksmithing village around Luang Prabang for quite some time. One synergy I see is that the blacksmithing of Had Hien has been identified by the Department of Information, Culture and Tourism as one of the ICH inventory areas to be documented, and I know there's been some work already done on that. So the fact that it has been highlighted already by the government means that there's some opportunity there to work together, and that there's some governmental support for this particular practice. I note that there was a lot of focus on tourism, which is very much understandable because of the location and Luang Prabang and the opportunities that presents. I would challenge the group to think a little bit about what may some of the negative impacts from tourism be on the practice of blacksmithing. Sorry. So you know, looking at what the local demand is and what the tourism demand is, and understanding how those might be a little bit different, and they may serve different needs in terms of the preservation and practice, will be an important part of understanding the future of blacksmithing. So I think if the group can also more clearly identify these are the kinds of, you know, if there's certain like the knives, you know, different kinds of scissors and tools that are used for local consumption, and then are there certain kinds of items that might be made for the tourist market, and also experiences, as Greg had just mentioned, you know, teaching, taking tours, you know, that sort of thing for tourists. How may those influence each other or affect each other in positive and negative ways? So I think some attention to that would be helpful. And I think, and again, maybe you mentioned this more, but I think what I would also like to know is, why is the practice of blacksmithing important to your community beyond the income? I know that Had Hien is famous for the blacksmithing. So Had Hien, whenever people say Baan Had Hien, everybody thinks of the blacksmithing. But delving a little bit deeper into that, why is it important to the community? Is it because it has some historical significance? Families have done it for a long time. Is it a source of pride? Is it a source of social cohesion for community members to work together? So that can also add some depth to the heritage practice of the blacksmithing. So those are all my comments. Thank you very much, and great job to the group.
Thank you very much, Tara, for your constructive comments, and very important for the team to reflect, you know, not just only the positive benefits from tourism, but also now it's actually a good time to reflect on also the negative impacts that might comes with tourism, and the importance of Mitchanak or all these elements from Had Hien. Thank you. Now, without further ado, another very fascinating projects to come, and it will be presented by a monk,